They say the old candle maker vanished one Halloween night, leaving his shop and his candles behind. But every Halloween, one lonely candle mysteriously glows in his window. Some say it's his spirit, still waiting to come home. Welcome back to Haunting in the Hollow, where tonight we're bringing the candle maker's last light back to life. All right, so let's go over the supplies that we need to work on our Haunted Hollow candle store that is ran by ghouls. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over what we need for your supplies, and then we'll jump right into the craft. Now, on some of these items, I do have some of them pre-prepped to help cut down on the video, and I will explain how I painted and all that, okay? But the first thing you're going to need is your picture frame. This is from the Dollar Tree. I have already pre-painted my picture frame. I am going to add probably some white highlights once I get everything done, but I did get the cream colored picture frame, and this one was the, what was it, 5x7, okay? And then you're going to need a plank of their wood. And their wood, this one is the 5.5 by 7.5. Okay, I already pre-painted the sides and the front, and I left it like that, and I did a black wash on the top. Okay, and then you are going to need some paint. So you're going to need some like browns, blacks, whites, greens, whatever color you want and whatever you think makes your Halloween stuff come to life. Okay. You're going to need a piece of cardboard because you're going to want to, he's still a little bit drying. So you're going to want to paint yourself and draw yourself out just a ghoul that is going to stand in the back. It's not really going to be seen too much. You can do it however you want. I just did mine on a piece of cardboard and I cut a slit like this so I can glue it like that, and it will make him stand up easily without having problems because you're going to have the two pieces that go like that. So it's going to help him stand up. He's going to be a shadow figure, so you're not going to have him perfect. I just made it look like he has like the big arm sleeves on his cloak. So that's all he is. Simple. You don't have to be an artist. That's not a good drawing. I just made it simple, fast. All right, you're gonna need some popsicle sticks. Now, your popsicle sticks, I would suggest if you can find the bigger popsicle sticks, they call them crafting sticks. They look like the tongue compressors. I would grab those than these, but this is what mine had. So I grabbed them, I painted them, and I cut them, and I put stuff on them, made them look weathered. I used the yellow because I like the yellow. I think it gives it like that icky, eerie kind of vibe. Um, so that's one of the other things that you need. You're going to need some moss of some sort to add around if you want to. You don't. These are items that you don't have to have, but the popsicle sticks, you definitely need those because that's going to be one of the items that makes our shop look haunted and, you know, that creepy little vibe. You're going to need a tea light about this size. You can even do a smaller tea light. You could do fairy lights if you want to, but it's a candle shop, so I think sticking with the candle is going to be the best vibe. I did have this one, but remember, as I did my thing, it might work. I don't know because you want to see your shadow figure behind. It's going to be sitting inside this. It's going to be the picture frame, the candle, and then him. And he's a shadow figure that's behind. He's the one that runs the Hollows candle shop. Okay. So this one might work, but I'm not going to get to try it until I get some batteries or open this up and see what's going on. The battery could be in here upside down. Who knows? It just wasn't working, but I'm not going to throw it out. I'm going to check it out and I can also use it in other things too. So you're going to want a electric candle. You do not want to use real candle for this because you're going to be using some stuff like this. And you definitely are going to need some cheesecloth, okay? So, and then I have this here, oops, sorry, decorative mesh. This is all from the Dollar Tree. So you're definitely going to want these, but you don't have to have this one, but I think this is really going to add to the whole look, okay? If you can't find the cheesecloth, you may be able to use some gauze, but I think that might be a little too thick for what we're going for. Now these are extra add-ins, but maybe some pumpkins, maybe like a bat, or even some spiders. So you can buy whatever you want to add on, but the main things that you need for this is a candle, cheesecloth. You don't even need this one. So cheesecloth, your popsicle sticks. I'm getting used to trying to look at the camera, so I'm sorry if I keep looking over here. I'm trying to look at the camera. Popsicle sticks, your picture frame, your piece of wood, and you're going to need a piece of cardboard. So repurposing some cardboard into this. That's the only things that you need. The moss, the bats, the spiders, all that kind of stuff is extra add-ins, okay? And of course, you're going to need some paint because you're going to want to dinge this up, make it look really creepy. Now, what I did, let me see if these are dried enough where I can take them off of here. What I did, since mine didn't have the tongue compressors, this is just glue, okay? This will come off, it's just wood glue. I wood glued pieces of boards like this to make my boards because what we're gonna be doing is these are going to be old wood boards in front of our window, okay? So if you only have a popsicle stick, they're not long enough to go from side to side to where they're comfortably going to glue in here. So I just ended up cutting my popsicle sticks and making them look jaggedy, and some are straight, some aren't. And then I glued two together like that, so then I can put these across and glue it comfortably and add the wood, okay? All right, so there's that. And then I would suggest maybe some E6000, your hot glue gun, and then maybe even, I used wood glue to glue my sticks together, and then maybe even some school glue, so you can use that to stick your moss on instead of your hot glue if you need to. And I may need to because the hot glue sticks that I bought are too big, and I am about out of my glass glue stick. I have to get to the store. But so what I'm going to do, since my glue stick is on, once it gets down low enough, I'm going to stick my pencil in there, and it's going to help me get all of that glue out, and I'll be able to use my glue stick. All right, so that is everything that you guys need for this project. So let me go ahead and get you guys adjusted so you're looking down here, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, everybody, so I have a new setup. I hope you guys like this setup. Let me know, do you guys like this setup better? By the end of this video, you'll know. Or do you like it better when I have it up above looking down at the project? Let me know down in the comments. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to grab our frame. Okay, you're going to go ahead and get yours painted. So what I did is I just took a brush that was damp. I used some brown. I brushed it over top of my tan frame. And then I added some black. I layered just streaks of black and brown all over. So I got this really old, dingy look, okay? Now the other thing you're going to do is you're going to take that glass out, of course, but you're going to have these pegs. These little pegs that hold your glass in. We're not going to be using those because we don't want to see them in our thing, but they're very easy to take out. You just have to wiggle it back and forth and they come right out. And sorry my hands are all painted, but that is just part of crafting. Okay, so here we go, guys. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our boards across here. And then I have just like a couple that I kept just plain little sticks that I think I'm gonna put like down like this in the corner. And then I have this one, I think I'm going to put like that. And then let's see, I have a couple other ones over here that are just like little, like this one's all broken. I like that look. I kind of just used my scissors and I cut them, and however they kind of shredded and stuff. Uh-oh, this one is not done all the way. I might have to use a little bit of my hot glue on this one, because this one just doesn't seem like it's dried all, no, it's definitely not dried all the way. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of hot glue onto this one so we can go ahead and carry on. I thought they were done, but I guess not. All right. Let me go ahead and turn that, stick that on there like that. Push it on down. I really wish mine would have had the tongue compressor ones. I call them tongue compressor ones, but the ones that are the thicker craft stick, but it's all right. Okay, I'm gonna let that one sit there and dry. And then I'm gonna take this one that's like got the jaggedy piece. I think I'm gonna put that like that. Maybe in this corner. And then move that one, and then I'm going to put that other one just like that, okay? And then I have this extra one. I can always add it if I want to later, but for right now I'm just going to set it to the side. All right, this is good enough. And this one I'm going to put like that. That's how I'm going to put my wood. You guys can put your wood however you want. And I always tend to fidget with stuff until I feel like I got it where I want it, but I think this is pretty good where I have it. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of hot glue here. And then I'm going to stick it on down. You are going to be putting your glass back in here, okay? So just keep in mind you are going to have your glass in here. Oh, well, it might help if I actually put it on the project, huh? Let me see. I don't know if that has enough glue on this side. I'm trying to be like really conservative with my hot glue since I am on my last hot glue gun, or on my last hot glue. But a lot of the stuff I can use the regular school glue as well, so that helps. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one like that. All right, there's that. Let that dry for a minute. And then we are going to start doing the curtains on the other side, but now we're going to flip this over. Oh, I forgot to glue that one down, guys. Might help if I do that. I wish that we would get trick-or-treaters. We've lived in this house for what, 12, 13 years, something like that, and we do not get trick-or-treaters. We got one trick-or-treater one year, and it was a dad riding his mower, pulling a little what do you call it, wagon, and he was pulling all his kids around, and you could tell Dad was feeling no pain that day. He was enjoying his Halloween. But the kids were having a good time, and I remember telling the kids, "Oh my gosh, grab some candy! Oh my gosh, we have kids coming up to the door!" I was so excited. We had no candy, no nothing, because we never get anybody. So the kids, we had taken them. It was a couple years ago, so we had taken them to a couple of the church events and stuff. And what I did is I just put hot glue in each of the corners, and then it's also going to get hot glue up here where we're going to be hanging the curtains and such, okay? So just hot glue your glass back into your piece. I'm going to open up this black mesh. Throw that over there, put that over there. All right, so what I was thinking about this was maybe like cutting it in half and putting it like that, so it's like towards the side, or we can put it over the whole thing to give it more of an eerier look. I think tattered pieces hanging would look even better. So all right, I'm going to go ahead and measure, and then I'm going to cut. Oh, come on, where did I put my scissors? Okay. Do you guys ever do that? Misplace where you put your stuff at? Because I know all right. Well, I'm just gonna have to grab a different pair because I don't know where I set those ones. I have no clue. So we're just gonna grab a different pair of scissors here and keep on moving forward. All right, so we're gonna grab this. We're just gonna cut some off. Now it definitely does like to wind up, so set that over here. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to cut this like this, because what I'm thinking is it will look even better and creepier is if we just kind of have it in here randomly, and then let me go see what our puppy is chewing on. I'll be right back, guys. All right, sorry about that, everybody. I am back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this in, and I'm just going to let it naturally flow the way it wants to. So the way it's curved in like that is how we're going to leave it. I think that's going to add to the aesthetic of the piece itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and come in here and add just a little bit of glue. I'm going to stick it down up in the top. No one's going to see this in the back here, so you don't have to worry about if it's like perfect on the back. And then I'm just going to kind of leave it for right now, or you know what, I better stick it down. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of glue here. All right, I got this piece. I was thinking about maybe hanging like that. And see, I'm just going to go up here, put a little bit of glue, and then I'm just going to stick that down into that glue. And you know, it's good just to use your pencil if you have to push down into the hot glue. All this stuff can be trimmed. You don't have to worry about this stuff up here. It all will be trimmed off. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is cut one more piece and let it come off to the side like that. Okay, let me go ahead and cut a piece of this. Sorry if you hear our cat. She's wanting the dog to love on her, and the dog does not want to love on her right now. He's laying down and she's rubbing all over him saying, "Please love on me." And the dog's like, "Please leave me alone." Yes, Kara, he wants you to leave him alone. He's laying down relaxing. So I'm just going to put this one kind of like that, I think. I hope you guys can see that. I know my arm is in the way. I got to get used to this setup. I'm trying to figure out what setup's the best way. Like I told you guys, here you're going to see the good, the bad, the ugly. I am not a pro, and I try to keep everything like just, you know, raw as can be, you know, so you guys can see like I'm a person. I make mistakes. Nothing's perfect in the world. It's okay to be human and make mistakes and learn from one another. All right, so I'm going to put a little glue right on the glass, but right underneath, like right where that yellow is. So you won't see it on the outside. But I kind of want to push that down. I'm going to let the other pieces stick up and flow. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead, now that that's dried up a bit, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here. Let me do it this way. Just going to go and follow right down this. And then I'm just going to cut right across there. Okay, I'm going to throw those pieces to the side. And then I'm just going to run my scissors right down this groove. All right, so there we go. So now so far we have our glass, and then you might not be able to see it in there very well, but you can see the black mesh on there. All right, so now we're going to grab our gauze. Our cheesecloth, I'm sorry. Grab the cheesecloth. Let's open that up. All right, let's see here. And I think just leaving it folded twice, like one time folded, so there's 2 layers, I think that would probably be the best, because then you're not going to be able to see through it as easy when the lights are off. But when the lights come on, you're going to be able to see the shadows of the candle and the guy. That's the way I'm envisioning this in my head. Now, when I put this together, guys, I came up with ideas, and then I'm like, I'm just going to do and execute them in the videos raw. So we're going to learn together as we're making them. That's the fun of doing these projects with you guys, is I don't make them before. Now, when you see the video and you get to see that there's like a, what do you call the thumbnail and stuff, I record that after I'm done making it here for you guys. So, and I'm going to try to leave like the wrinkles and everything that's coming out right now. I'm going to try leaving them. To me, I think that makes it more like organic and creepier. But that's my opinion. If you want to like get the wrinkles out of yours, you can. We all have different likes and stuff, so nothing wrong with that. All right, so we'll just save this cheesecloth here. Oop. Well, if I can get it all cut. There we go. For another project some other time. So I'm just going to stick that right back in this bag to keep it from getting any cat hair or anything on it. And I'm going to pop that over there. All right, so let's go ahead and put this down. So what we're going to do, it's already wanting to stick right there. It's sticking to the black stuff. Let me pull it up this way. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put the bead of glue right down in the groove here, and I'm going to push my gauze or my cheesecloth down into that groove. Okay. And my little thing fell off. I should have used some of I was going to do 2 glues there, but I didn't. All right, let me get my cloth ready. All right, let me fix this. All right. And then once I get it down in there, I can fix the rest of it. So I'm going to take my E6000 and I'm going to put a little bit of this down. I'm going to put that right on top of right here where this black mesh stuff is, because that's going to help hold that as well. Because I want this to stay good for years to come. I want it to hold up. And then I'm going to put some at the either end there. And then I'm going to put my lid back on. And my glue is starting to get a little low, so I'm going to pop my pencil in there so it can help me push down my glue. All right, there's that. So now I'm going to lay this down. Okay, and then I'm going to use the scissors here to help me push this down into the glue that I just put there. And don't forget to push down into the E6000 that you put on top of the black, so you're pushing all that down. And then I'm going to pull this down so it covers all that. Just like that. All right. So believe it or not, we are almost done. Okay, so now we have this. Okay. And now I got to put that board back on here real quick. Let me go ahead and get that. That's what happens when you try to be stingy, huh? Things start falling apart because I'm being stingy with my hot glue. All right, here we go. And down into the glue. All right, so now we're going to be taking our plaque. We're going to be gluing this to this. Okay, let me let this, let me do this real quick. I'm going to take one of these. All right, there we go. Okay. And you can fix your cheesecloth as soon as we're done. All right, so I'm going to do this sideways. I'm going to hold it so you guys can see. I'm going to have the board, well, I'm going to do it this way. I'll hold it this way for you guys to see more better. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little bit of a platform sticking out right here. So if you want to put like stuff there, you can, okay? And you're going to make it straight. So it's going to look like that, okay? And then from the side, you're going to have all this extra back here, okay? So let's go ahead. Now, I forgot to tell you guys to have, I have 2 of these Jenga blocks from, I forgot to tell you guys about that. I'm sorry. I have 2 of these Jenga blocks from the Dollar Tree. Okay, I use them when I feel like I need to. And I feel like to give this a little bit more stability, it would be good to be able to have this sitting here like that. And then either put your blocks like that or even like that. Because it's going to take and give it more stability. You see how I have that there? If you put these blocks, it's going to give it a little bit more stability. And then if you do it this way, it gives it more stability. So what I might do is I might just put 2 like that and then get 2 more. And I don't care if they're painted or not, and stick them on the other side. So that's what I'm going to go do now. I'm going to go glue this down. I'm going to glue these 2 like this. And then I'm going to grab 1 more for each side. And I'm going to have it glued like that. Okay, and then I will be back. All right, guys, so I'm back. I went ahead and I glued it just like that. So I put 1 here, and it's glued to this and the base. This one is glued to the frame, the base, and this one. So they're all holding each other, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this down, fix it, push it right up against here, like that. Okay, let me put this in. Hold on one second. I had it all like tucked and stuff, and then I was like moving it. All right, so there's that. All right, so now, all right, sorry, I had to decline that call. Okay. So now is where we're gonna get into, we're almost done. So now you're gonna put your light just like that, okay? And then this little guy here that you made, this guy here, you're gonna bend his little feet. Well, they're not his feet, they're gonna be his little stand to help hold him. So he's right by your candle to where at nighttime the glow is gonna help light him up. So you're gonna be able to see him through the glass, okay? So now I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna put some hot glue on his base of the feet tabs that I call them his feet, but the tabs that we made. And then get him set where you want him. I want him right like that. Push down and hold for a few minutes. All right. So now that's down. So now you're going to have this window. And now we're going to go ahead and add stuff that we want to. So on mine, I was thinking about doing one of these little pumpkins. I was thinking about maybe one of those tan pumpkins. I thought I had left them out, but then I was like, oh, I think they're a little too big. But now that I have looking at it, let me see if I can find them. I'm wondering if I want to add one of these tan pumpkins up there. Let me see. I got one there. Sorry, that's so loud. Let me go ahead and pull this off. You just twist it, and it comes right off. I save those because we can use those for other projects. I was thinking about adding one of these. I think these are cute. And then maybe putting one of these little glitter ones over here. And then I was thinking about the spiders. I was thinking about putting one of these spiders, maybe, let me bring you guys up a bit. Putting like a spider maybe up here on the glass, or maybe on that side. I might put this stuff on this side. Let me see. I got to still glue it down, and then maybe put the spider up on here. That's what I'm thinking about doing. So I'm going to go decorate mine, and then I will come back, and then I will share with you guys everything else that I add to it and how I finished my piece up, and then we will see what it looks like. Okay? All right, I'll be back. All right, guys, welcome back. I am done. So it's not dark in this room, but you can see this is how it looks, okay? And as it's darker, you're going to be able to see this shadow guy right here. You can see I put some white on him so he stands out even more. And just to let you know, what I did in the back here is I did cut this so it's only one sheer piece instead of two, because it's going to make it easier to see your little shadow guy in the back. Okay, now if you have a little bit bigger light, it might not be as hard to see him. But once this is dark, it's going to be even easier to see. But this is what I did. As you can see, I took some white paint. I dry brushed some highlights onto the wood and onto the frame here. I added a spider up here, and I left his little his little orange booty there with the glitter. I thought it looked good. It gives it the pop of color. I put some of the moss. I glued some moss there and on the little boards. And I put some down below right around the pumpkins here. I added 2 pumpkins, and that's it. And you know, if you had a crow, you could stick a crow up at the top. You could stick whatever you want on this. I mean, it's your project. But then once it's really dark at night, it will even show up better the inside, that you're like looking through a window into the candle maker's shop and you see him standing in the window with a candle. So I think this turned out super cute. I imagined it in my head, and then I was like, I hope when I go to execute it, it's gonna come all together. And I am super happy with this. And as you can see, I just went on and just threw some light, you know, some whites on him. And then once tonight comes and I shut the lights off and I see what it looks like in the dark, if I think the whites are too much, I'll take them out. But I like the whites because it helps you see his outline better through the window. So that is it, guys. That's what it looks like. Let me know if you're going to make one of these and what are some of the ideas that you have that you want to put on your window. And let me know, do you guys like this craft that we just did? And are you excited about the next episode that's going to be coming up? All right. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. Please subscribe if you like these, and please share us out and put a thumbs up. Let us know if you guys like this video. All right, I will talk to you guys in the next video in Hunting of the Hollow.